Hello and welcome to this Tales from the Hutnanger Aviation Rarities episode about the Rey R.1. And the Rey R.1 was an experimental twin-engined aircraft designed and built in France in the late 1940s. France easily gets knocked for building some historically ugly aircraft. I think this is not one of them. The R.1 was developed to test the effectiveness of sprung hinged wings that automatically corrected roll caused by gusts. And this sort of gust dampening idea had been looked at by others during the 1930s. And one experimental aircraft built in 1936, the Italian Giona J6 Experimental, had a novel tilting wing stabilisation system. So in 1938, designer François Rey and M. Renault took out a patent on a stabilisation method in which the wings could hinge near their roots along the line oblique to the span. And this meant when the tip drops, the wing hinged upwards, increasing its angle of attack and hence its lift, restoring the aircraft to level flight. The first Rey aircraft was still under construction in 1940 when France fell to Germany and the aircraft was destroyed, and I had no joy in finding out any more details about this one. Then after the war, Rey obtained the support of Société Matre built, and they were a French industrial aerospace group of companies, and they gave approval for the Rey R.1 to be built to test the principle of the patent. And the aircraft would be powered by Renault's 6Q 160 kilowatt or 220 horsepower 6-cylinder air-cooled inverted inline engines, and they were mounted on the wing undersides in deep long cowlings. The rubber disc sprung hinges began immediately outboard of the rear engine cowling on the wing trailing edge and ran forward and outward to the leading edge at about 45 degrees to the chord. The black ceiling strips show their position and can be seen in various photographs, and the R.1's long ailerons were mounted outboard of the hinge, starting close to the hinge connection with the trailing edge. The rest of the R.1 was completely conventional, with an oval fuselage, single seat enclosed cockpit, and a second seat behind in a windowed cabin. The tailplane was straight-edged and tapered with strong dihedral and carried twin vertical tails, oval in profile at its extreme tips. It had tailwheel undercarriage and the main wheels on short-fed vertical legs from the engine cowlings. The Rey R.1 Foxtrot Whiskey Foxtrot Delta X-Ray No. 1 flew for the first time on the 16th of December 1949, piloted by Leo Boyer. With a normal fixed wing, it made 47 flights to test the airframe and engine combination and obtaining handling knowledge and performance figures. The design was such that a retractable undercarriage could have been installed, but due to its limited experimental purpose, the undercarriage remained fixed. The experimental wings were then installed. In addition to automatic operation, it could also be controlled by the pilot. The change of incidence was along the line approximately 45 degrees to the fore and aft axis, with the widest point at the wing leading edge, and the joint was sealed with flexible black preloaded rubber. The first flight with the new wings was made on the 3rd of January 1951. It is reported to have made a further 45 flights before its first public demonstration on the 13th of February at Moulins-Villaroche. It then made an appearance at the 1951 Le Bourget Air Show, showing off its flexing wings along with a braking parachute being used. No. 2 Foxtrot Whiskey Foxtrot Delta Yankee first flew on the 3rd of July 1951. As to what it did, there is no record, or even if it was fitted with the bendy wings, just the following photos. And that's where we end its story. The reason why it failed, the Rey system would have been very expensive and complicated to fit on passenger aircraft. It's as simple as that. So no manufacturer was ready to accept the cost of introducing the Rey system. Rey had an ambition to design and build his own aircraft, so he did it. Would it have been easier to convert an existing type for the tests? A nice shot here of O2 as it shows off the larger fins. And I guess both R1s were both scrapped quickly when the project was rejected. I couldn't find any records of their fate, so they just vanished. You could say this development and understanding helped in a way to end up where we are today, with modern airliners with their bendy wings. Thanks for watching. I'll end with the normal, please like, share, subscribe, and comments are always welcome.